looks like we got some good connections. Wow, I'm surprised. Hopefully it doesn't blink out on me like last time. Well, not last time, 2 weeks ago. Horrible stream. Luckily the stream health is looking good. And how you guys doing? This is Coach Big Pete, aka Peter Linemobber of Deep Dish Football, publisher of Deep Dish Football. Follow Coach Big Pete and Deep Dish Football on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm also on Facebook Live. This is meant for Facebook Live. I'm also on Instagram Live. How you doing? Follow me at Coach Big Pete, Deep Dish Coach Big Pete on Instagram. I'm also on Snapchat. My email is coachbigpetefp@gmail.com. If you have any questions, feel free to ask it. Email me questions. I will respond to questions on Facebook Live. And as always, again, this is week 9. We are into week 9 IHSA football. Just some quick reminders, by the way. Deep Dish Football Playoff Pairing Show starts at 7 p.m. on YouTube Live. Make sure you check it out. It's going to be on the YouTube page of Coach Big Pete, Deep Dish Football. Make sure you check it out. It's going to be live. Then, 8 p.m., take a break, 30-minute break. 9:30, Deep Dish Football Live, a very special playoff pairing show. Saturday, at 9:30 on the Facebook page of Deep Dish Football. Also, and again, I'm going to say this again to everyone, Breakfast with Coach Big Pete will not be on Saturday at 9 a.m. It's going to be a lot earlier. It's going to probably be 1 a.m., 2 a.m. on Saturday morning. I know it's absolutely nuts, but I want to get the stuff done before we get into the playoff pairing show. So about maybe 1, 2 a.m., maybe 12:30 a.m., will be Breakfast with Coach Big Pete on Saturday morning. Yes, it's going to be a very late night for me. And the night after that, it's going to be a very late night for me. It's going to be a very late weekend. This is going to be a crazy weekend as we get onto the playoff pairing show. And also, just to remind people, Deep Dish Football Live next week is going to start being on Thursday at 6 p.m. That's what's going to happen during the playoffs. Breakfast with Coach Big Pete will not be on Saturdays. It will be on Sundays at 9 a.m. Another quick reminder for all you guys. Also, DuPage Run Shoot will all be at the same time. Hopefully, the episode will get uploaded at 9 p.m. with my co-host Patrick Branquato. Make sure you follow DuPage Run and Shoot on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. My co-host Patrick Branquato works on Naperville Community Television, former SIU graduate. He does a wonderful job. Check him out, Patrick Cotto, on Twitter as well. Our show will be coming out tomorrow, talking DuPage County football. And again, still taking questions too for the DuPage Run Shoot end of the program, answering any viewers' questions. So this is Deep Dish Football Live, and again, if you like my work, feel free to leave a tip via PayPal link below in the Facebook page. So we shall get started. And first of all, as we talk about numerous times, and that, just a little quick reminders. One. For a lot of you fans out there, and I'm talking about the middle-aged fans, especially men fans. High school football is not professional football. High school football is not college football. High school football is high school football. That's all it is. It's high school football. Enjoy it. The main purpose of high school football is for the kids. It is not for your dumb ass. High school football is for the kids. That's it. That's all. That's it. Simple as that. You talking about a player sucking or that, like an NFL player, is completely bullshit. And you should not be doing it. And basically, you deserve a foot up your ass. No doubt about that. Also, and we get into this things of, well, I'm gonna use an anonymous thing, and I'm gonna say we need to fire this head coach. If you want to say that, I mean, you could also help to be a volunteer coach. But we know that it's easy to sit behind a computer and criticize a head coach and their coaching staff. But God knows if you want to help and volunteer, you won't do shit. So for most of you armchair coaches that don't even have kids playing in the game, you need a fucking life. I'm not going to lie. You need a life. No doubt about that. Simple as that. And as always, going later into this off season, I will be doing free recruiting sessions, talking with parents and players, absolutely free. I'm also be doing some free recruiting seminars too, answering your recruiting questionnaires, absolutely free. So it should be a lot of fun coming in this off season as well. And then I'll be covering some 7-on-7 football events, which I really don't like 7-on-7 football. Even the coaches of 7-on-7 football know I don't like 7-on-7 football. But I will be there covering. I'll be covering some showcases. I keep getting asked, when are you going to do a showcase? When are you going to do a showcase? I tried numerous times to do a showcase. I tried to get it to make an ideal price range for players. The problem is trying to find coaches that want to coach in the showcase for that ideal price, because they want more money, and it's a pain in the ass. And you need a sponsor. You need a few sponsorships. It's an absolute pain. Simple as that. All right, so we get in to the Week 9 football thing, and I talk about playoff pairings and all that. Let's get into the big games of the week. First game is the Naperville Conference, the DuPage Valley Conference Championship, as Naperville North takes on Neuqua Valley. Neuqua Valley is undefeated. Naperville North, they've been good. Again, I'd like to see more out of Aiden Gray. I like the defense, very good defense as well. But I think Neuqua Valley, you just got to give the advantage to Neuqua Valley. Neuqua Valley's that good. They're that good, honestly. They're that good. And I'll probably eat crow, and I'll probably feel like a jackass, but this is going to be a big game to watch. Next game, Batavia versus St. Charles North. Batavia, 8-0. They're my number one team in 7A. Taking on a St. Charles North team. Had a few problems, but they're coming back from those problems. They had a tough loss last week. Can they upset the Batavia Bulldogs? That's going to be the main question. It's going to be a great game. I'm excited for this game because I think Batavia, Ryan Bowe, Ethan Plummet, quarterback for St. Charles North, two quarterbacks, young quarterbacks that you need to keep an eye out for. Ethan Plum, I think, is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the Midwest. Ryan Bowe, also one of the best quarterbacks in the Midwest, coming out too. Two quarterbacks to watch. It's going to be a great game between St. Charles North and Batavia. Next, IC versus St. Francis. Two big dog teams. IC undefeated. St. Francis had a couple tough losses. They lost to Lake Forest the first week. They also lost to Bishop McNamara as well. This is a tough game because Alicio is fired up. He's been having a streak of good luck with him as a quarterback. I see good defense, excellent secondary, and solid linebacker play coming from that defense as well. Again, the main thing for IC is the running attack on St. Francis, and can St. Francis stop that running attack of IC? It's going to be a big game. Next game, IMG versus East St. Louis. IMG versus East St. Louis. That is right. They're playing the famous. How do I say IMG is? School, which is actually just an effing football program. I'm not gonna lie about that. They're playing East St. Louis. East St. Louis has got a tough game. I think it's going to be played at Jackson State, if I'm not mistaken. So it should be a good game, but they lost to Bosco a couple weeks ago in the California, a powerhouse, national powerhouse. They're playing IMG Academy. It's going to be tough. It really is going to be tough for East St. Louis, no doubt about that. Hershey versus Buffalo Grove. Hershey lost to Prospect and Buffalo Grove. They only have one loss, if I'm not mistaken. Should be a big game as they take on Hershey Huskies. Again, Hershey, keep an eye out for Jimmy Bach at a quarterback. Also, good athletic wide receivers. I visited them over in the summer. Was very impressed with their athletes. Offensive line was still a little bit of a worry for the Hershey Huskies, and a little bit of the defense too. Again, a lot of miscommunications again. But should be a good game as Hershey takes on Buffalo Grove. And Buffalo Grove, you have Tristan Anderson, Eli I'm going to mispronounce his last name, and I do apologize if I mispronounce last names. Eli Shurovic. Good safety play coming too out of Buffalo Grove as well. Definitely a game you got to check out. Buffalo Grove versus Hershey in Week 9. Bishop Mack versus Riverside Brookfield. Bishop Mack, this is going to be Coach Yanni's last regular season game. They need the big win over Riverside Brookfield, and Riverside Brookfield is a tough team, and I say his name again, Ryan Novak. Keep an eye out for Ryan Novak. They also got a young quarterback too, and a good offensive line coming out of Riverside Brookfield. Bishop Mack, that two-headed beast, running back beast that they have. good athletic wide receivers in secondary. It just a lot of mental mistakes really hurt Bishop Mack this season. Bishop Mack this season. Definitely a game that you need to check out. Be very interesting. Bishop Mack needs this win. Lake Forest High School taking on Warren Township. Warren Township is riding high. Coach McNulty, they had a tough loss. They lost to Maine South, if I'm not mistaken, early in the season, but they've been winning lately. Aiden Luciaro just committed to Grand Valley State. He's one of their star quarterbacks at Warren Township. Solid defensive play, solid offensive line play. Are we surprised that they're at this spot? No. The more surprising team that they're facing is Lake Forest. I don't think a lot of people saw them coming. And Lake Forest only has one loss, if I'm not mistaken, and that was to St. Francis. No, I'm not St. Francis. I forget who Lake Forest lost to. But it's going to be a good game. Lake Forest, Jahari Scott, as a kid, you got to know their offensive line, Ellen. They have a great offensive lineman in Ellen. Definitely a game to watch. And keep an eye out for Lake Forest when they get into the playoffs. That's definitely a team you got to watch. Glenbard West versus Hinsdale Central, the big game in the Western Suburban Conference. With Hinsdale Central, again, just overall very impressive passing attack coming from them. We saw struggles early in the weeks, but now they're bouncing back. Hinsdale Central, good solid defense. Ellen, I'm forgetting the other guy. Good defensive line, solid defensive line, and always a great coach offensive line by Ron McHugh. And Coach Griffin, this is going to be a big game for Hinsdale Central. This is a big prove me game. They won their game in the spring last year. How will they do in this season? And they've done well. And at Glenbard West, they're just a tough team. Knock you in your mouth, drag you out, and they're going to run the ball good against you. They've been switching a little bit to the spread as well. The passing attack too. Joey Pope is another player you got to keep an eye out for. Donna, I'm forgetting his last name. It begins with a D. He's another good running back. Underrated quarterback at Glenbard West too. Good offensive line. Chris Tarek is definitely a kid you want to keep an eye out for too. And a great, every year, Glenbard West has always had a solid group of linebackers just ready to knock you in the mouth. And this is going to be a big game. It's a Saturday game. Hinsdale Central taking on Glenbard West, always at the Dushan Field. Definitely a game you got to check out for Saturday. Sacred Heart Griffin versus Glenwood. And we talk about Glenwood. They've been impressive. Their young quarterback who has filled in for their star quarterback has done a wonderful job, especially they have a two-headed beast in the backfield of the quarterback and running back attack. Facing a Sacred Heart Griffin team who's been working very hard, but a lot of people still don't know about this team, don't talk about this team. And Sacred Heart Griffin's going to surprise a lot of people. For me, again, Sacred Heart Griffin, you look at the wide receivers, you look at that highly athletic linebacker core. For Glenwood, good offensive line. They got a couple of young players, 2023, 2024, that you got to keep an eye out for. But it's going to be a very good game in Central Illinois. Definitely a game I'm going to be checking out. Sacred Heart Griffin versus the Glenwood Titans. Loyola Academy versus Mount Carmel. Two beast teams. Mount Carmel, they've had a good start to the season. Again, they're still bouncing off that loss from St. Ignatius. Loyola Academy just keeps rocking. They have 0 losses, and Loyola Academy's Loyola Academy. They're looking unbelievable. With Sterney at quarterback, just one of the best offensive lines in the state of Illinois. Good defensive backs too, and a good running attack. As well. It's going to be a very tough thing for Mount Carmel to get on to, especially their defense going against that Loyola offensive line. But, and I'm going to say this, but if I'm a team, I don't want an undefeated team going to the playoffs. I don't. I really don't want an undefeated team going into the playoffs. I want a one-loss team to go into the playoffs. I want those kids to have a feeling of a loss. That's one of the weirdest things to say, but when they get into the playoffs, they have that preparation. They have in their mind, yeah, we lost this season. It shadows them, but it gets them even more enthralled into those playoffs, and it says we got to work harder and this other thing. So being undefeated is not the whole big shebang, as people would say. I want that one loss team. Simple as that. I want that one loss team. So it should be interesting. And again, like I said this, and I said this in an interview today. These playoffs are going to be some of the weirdest playoffs that we have ever seen in IHSA football history. There's going to be a lot of upsets. And I mean a lot of upsets. It's going to be pure chaos like we've had this season. It's just crazy. It's crazy times are ahead of us, people. Crazy times are ahead of us. So we go into that. Nazareth Academy versus Bennett Academy. Nazareth Academy, guess what? They need this win against the tough Bennett Academy team. Bennett Academy also needs this win. This is definitely a game to check out. Logan Mashalik, their quarterback at Nazareth Academy, is a future star in the making. He's going to be a big name coming out of Nazareth Academy. Already a nationally looked at quarterback. Definitely a big game as they take on Bennett Academy. Morris versus Sycamore. Morris is undefeated. That train is still rolling. That Morris train is going to go right through you. They play a tough Sycamore team. Quarterback Eli Meyer, a solid group of athletic wide receivers. Good running attack for Sycamore. They've had some tough losses. They lost to Rochelle. So it's going to be a big game to watch as we watch Sycamore take on Morris. Stillman Valley versus Genoa Kingston. Stillman Valley looking great again. Genoa Kingston needs this win. Good offensive line. Can Stillman Valley penetrate that great offensive line of the Genoa Kingston Gears offensive line? Definitely a game to watch. Thursday, tomorrow. Yeah, we have a Thursday game. Big game. Peoria Notre Dame takes on Peoria Thursday. Peoria Notre Dame, again, looking really great this season. Really good this season. Peoria, good as well. It's definitely an interesting game. And their game is on Thursday. And that's actually pretty good to get a few more break days before you get into that playoff matchup the week after. Brother Rice versus Marist. Big game against Brother Rice versus Marist. And Brother Rice has got to prove one thing. One, their defense has been poor these last weeks. Brother Rice, the main thing for that defensive line is they got to shore up everything, especially those linebackers. And they are a special group of players. This Brother Rice team can go far. And again, this is Coach Backey's last year. And they want Coach Backey to go out as a champion. This Brother Rice team is the real deal. Again, they've had some problems. They're just going to have to shore up some things, and they're going to be a serious team in the playoffs. They take on Marist. Marist, Dontrell Jackson, he's doing a hell of a job. He balled out against Loyola Academy. Good wide receivers on the Marist squad, too. Not that big, very small, but they will burn the living crap out of you. And so it's going to be a good game as Marist takes on Brother Rice. Fenwick versus St. Ignatius. St. Ignatius still rocking with 0 losses, going against a tough Fenwick team, Caden Cobb. You know all those wide receivers, Division I wide receivers. Again, underrated defensive line of Fenwick. Superb offensive lineman, Jimmy Liston at offensive guard. Definitely going to be a big team as they take on St. Ignatius. St. Ignatius running that triple option offense is always, that's always, and I say this again, as a defensive coach, telling your kids to stay in your assignment, to stay in their assignment, to stay in their gap, to read their keys is a pain in the ass for a defensive coach. It is an absolute pain in the ass. So definitely is a game you want to check out. St. Ignatius versus Fenwick. Cary Grove versus Hampshire. Hampshire bounced, had a tough loss last week. Can they do the crazy surprise? Can they beat Cary Grove? Cary Grove is looking great again this season in that 6A class. And if they Cary Grove, I'll tell you one thing. That Cary Grove team, and if they meet East St. Louis, that's going to be a hell of a game. That's going to be a very crazy game. Because East St. Louis, they're talented. They're the most talented team in the state of Illinois. No doubt about that. But going against that offense, patience with defensive players, read the keys. going to be it'd be a very interesting game. I hope we get that game. I'm still waiting for IC versus Rochester, by the way. Toledo Unity versus Monticello, next big game. Toledo Unity, big rivalry game. By the way, the Monticello Sages had that tough loss a couple weeks ago, but they bounced back with a big win over Prairie Central. Toledo Unity undefeated, big game there. Next, Peatone versus Lyle. Can Lyle beat Peatone? Again, Peatone does things perfectly. They tackle perfect. They disciplined defense. They do not gamble. They're not that big of gamblers on offense. They face a Lyle team that has a little more athleticism. And when we look at Peatone, the big thing will be on their quarterback. That's going to be the biggest thing. And can Lyle get pressure on that quarterback? And again, can they cramp basically together those gaps? That's going to be huge against this Peatone team. And Coach Tully's doing a hell of a job. This has been a wonderful season for Peatone, and also a wonderful season for Lyle. Coach Parpet has done a wonderful job. Those Lyle Lions are doing a great job, and so are those Peatone Blue Devils. They're going to be hard when they hopefully get in the playoffs. So it's going to definitely be a thing to watch. Richmond Burden versus Marengo. Marengo Holst had a great game last week, and they faced a tough Richmond Burden team that's undefeated again. Yes, Richmond Burden is undefeated again. Those Rockets, they're playing football. They're playing again smash mouth football that everyone loves and knows, and they take on a tough Marengo team. It's going to be tough for Marengo. I honestly got that feeling right now. Forston versus Lena Winslow, NUIC, big star matchup. There you go, Kyle, big game. I'll talk about that game. Lena Winslow, again, they look perfect. The only loss they had was the Dupac. Forston's having a good season, but there's a reason why I kept Lena Winslow number one after a loss to Dupac. I just think this is Lena Winslow's championship to lose, honestly. I think Lena Winslow's going to win that one. And the next team that I see that I was very impressed with the game for was Abdigan Avon in the 1A class. Very impressed with Abdigan Avon. Crete-Monee versus Kankakee. Kankakee's undefeated, people. Kankakee, Tamale Staples, their quarterback, he's having a hell of a season. Wide receivers, they're having a hell of a season. They're breaking records. Going against a tough Crete-Monee team. They had a couple tough losses. They lost to Lincoln Way East, and I forgot the second team that Crete-Monee lost to. I'm trying to think what the team that they lost to, but big game. Crete-Monee has, I believe, 2 losses, if I'm not mistaken. Kankakee is undefeated. Definitely a game of 2 highly, highly dangerous offenses. And basically, again, a defense of secondary of who can do the best coverage and give up the least points. That is the stupidest comment that I just made, but that's the honest thing, and it's good. I got a feeling it's going to be a high scoring game. It really is going to be a high scoring game between Crete-Monee and Kankakee. Oswego East versus Plainfield North. Oswego East, they lost to Oswego last week. Can they bounce back against a very tough Plainfield North team who's been scrapping this whole season? It's another game to keep an eye out for. Mendota versus St. Bede, Peru St. Bede. Another interesting game there. Mendota needs this big win over against the tough St. Bede team. Tyreek Fortney is definitely a player to check out for from St. Bede. Mendota, great running attack, by the way, from Mendota. So definitely a game you got to keep an eye out for. Lyons Township versus DGN. One team needs a win bad. And Lyons Township, I talked about Joey Anella. He's a good quarterback. Good offensive line, defensive line. Lyons Township, just things haven't been falling in their way for some of the games, and I saw a lot of mental mistakes out of that game film. DGN, it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game for DGN, but they're a hell of a team. They've had a great season. Coach Harani's got that team playing, so definitely a game to check out. Edmondson versus Morgan Park, Saturday. Big CPS game. Can Morgan Park get the big win over an undefeated Edmondson team? Chicago matchup in the CPS. And again, Morgan Park, this is a team of the future for in Chicago public schools. This is a huge team in the future. And I consider Morgan Park and Kenwood the big dogs coming up pretty soon. They're the big dog teams. Chris James is doing a wonderful job with Morgan Park, no doubt about that. And the coaching staff at Edmondson, too. They're undefeated. And the last game, Triad versus Lincoln. Lincoln needs this win. This is a big win. Can Lincoln get this win? Can Coach Silky get this win against a tough Triad team? We will see what happens. It's going to be an interesting game. They had a great running attack last week. I think the kid had over 200 yards, 2 or 3 touchdowns. Definitely a game to check out. Triad versus Lincoln. So I'm going to go down to the Facebook page of Deep Dish Football and see if there's any questions. Reed Custer versus Hersher's comments. Oh, that I did not know. That's a shocker. Oh, wow, I didn't know that. So Hersher, the head coach, Hersher Wetzel, this is going to be his last game too. That I did not know. Wetzel's a hell of a coach, by the way. Wetzel's one of the best coaches that I've coached against because I coached at Westmont against Hersher. Wetzel is just an unbelievable coach, and that coaching staff, they do a wonderful job too. That's going to be a highly emotional game right there. Should be an interesting game. The Hersher Tigers taking on the Reed Custer Comets, no doubt about that. Definitely an interesting game. I didn't know that. I did not know this was Wetzel's last game. Jeez. You talk about 2 legends in that area that are leaving. Wetzel, and I've always Coach Ziani, the 3rd most winningest coach in IHSA football history, and big hats off to Coach Ziani on just an unbelievable career. He's done so much for IHSA football and the whole and that area as well. Big shout out to Coach Ziani in his last regular season game tomorrow. So should be a fun game. Should be a good game. And the cold's here, which is good, so I don't have to sweat my ass off at these games because I'm a big fellow. And any more questions on Facebook, feel free to ask. And you can ask on Instagram too if you have any questions. Oh, I forgot about that game. Chris Griffin, thank you so much. I forgot about that game. I forgot about the game. I really did. Aurora Christian versus Wheaton Academy. We have a lot of great games. Like I had a list. I had to cut my list by 10 games that I couldn't include, but I wanted to put that game in. Aurora Christian versus Wheaton Academy. Thank you, Chris Griffin. For me, I'm going to give it a little bit towards the seniority. I think Wheaton Academy can win this game, but again, it's going to be tough. Max Bray is lining up the scoreboard for Aurora Christian. Aurora Christian's playing lights out football. Wheaton Academy, this team is the real deal. Wheaton Academy is the real deal, and definitely needs to be talked about again more. And with Thorne, those wide receivers, it's going to be hard. That's going to be another tough game. Again, for Aurora Christian, Wheaton Academy, stop Max Bray. That's stop the passing attack. For Aurora Christian, I'd be more worried about the running attack of Wheaton Academy. Because that running attack is actually getting a little bit better week by week. It's going to be a good game. Aurora Christian versus Wheaton Academy. Max Bray is a quarterback to keep an eye out for in the state of Illinois in the future. He's a hell of a quarterback and another great quarterback from that lineage of Aurora Christian quarterbacks from Hampton. I'm forgetting the other guy. He plays at the University of Michigan. They've had some great quarterbacks, Aurora Christian. Thank you, Chris Griffin, for that question, by the way. And thank you for reminding me, too. I feel like an idiot because I forgot about that. I swear I was going to put it down, but what are you going to do about it? Any more questions? Feel free to ask. All right. Well, that is it for week 9 Deep Dish Football Live. Just again, quick reminder. Breakfast with Coach Big Pete is going to be this Saturday morning, early, very early, like 1 to 2 a.m. Deep Dish Football IHSA Playoff Pairing Show start Saturday at 7 p.m. on YouTube Live with the Deep Dish Football Coach Big Pete page. Then 9 o'clock break to 9:30, 9:30 to 10:30 Deep Dish Football Live Playoff Pairing Show on the Deep Dish Football page of Facebook. It'll be live. The YouTube page, I'm trying to work the technology. I apologize. Again, me caveman. I'm trying to get where I can get some guests onto the show. I got a nice little lineup. Hopefully I can start working the technology. Please. I'm an absolute idiot when it comes to technology. I apologize for that. So, that is it. And good luck to everyone. And a big shout out to the class of 2022, by the way. It's been an honor to cover you guys. It's been a lot of fun to cover you guys. Great to interview you guys. Watch your competition, your games, the whole shebang. Thank you guys so much. And best of luck into your future endeavors, class of 2022. Just wanted to bring that out there because it's the last week 9 and there's a lot of seniors that won't be playing in the playoffs. And again, did you have fun this season? Did you have fun with your brothers / teammates? Did you have fun? Then you didn't have a losing season. You made great memories, and that's all that matters in high school football, honestly. All right, thank you so much, and have a great day. I'm going to try to end this. Trying to end this right now. There we go. End live video.